Going along with the lyrics, because you really do have dense, pithy, interesting historical and scientific lyrics. I've heard in previous interviews that your song "Why Does the Sun Shine" was factually incorrect, and you did a rewrite.
Well, yes. We've been doing this song. We have a new project coming out called "Here Comes Science," which is like the third in our series with Disney, doing these educational DVDs and CDs with them. And one of the first science songs we ever did was a cover of the song from the 60s called "Why Does the Sun Shine?" (parentheses, the sun is a mass of incandescent gas). And basically that was probably the best science at the time. But like many things in science, the theory about what the sun is actually made of has kind of evolved into this notion that it's made of plasma, which is not a fourth. It's described as
a fourth state of matter. Yeah. What it is ionized electrons that are not attached to the rest of the atom. So it is technically considered yet another state of matter, not a gas. So this statement, the sun is a mass of incandescent gas, is just flat out wrong. That's incorrect. And because we've been singing that lyric over and over again for the last 20 years.
And like basically scientists
pretty much print a musical retraction in the form of a new song.
So people from the scientific community will be very happy that we are no longer spreading lies about the nature of the sun.
Yeah.
Your recent work, you've done theme songs such as Malcolm in the Middle, The Daily Show, well done, and you've done a lot of children's songs, of which is
like for children's TV and stuff.
Right, which is the reason you are nominated for a Grammy this year. Congratulations.
It's very exciting.
Thank you very much.
Tell me how you made the transition.
Well, we really backed into it. We basically just we did this one children's album that was basically like we intended it to just be the one thing we would ever do as a children. It would just be the children's album that the band They Might Be Giants made, and then it turned out to be very successful and very well received critically, and parents were really into it. Like it was just a whole world opening up, and I think in many ways it might have just been sort of in the culture. I think there were a lot of people, a lot of young parents who had a desire to have a different kind of entertainment for their kids and a more specific kind of entertainment for their kids. And we just happened to come along at the exact moment that idea was coming along. I mean, at this point, like rock bands doing children's music is actually very well established, and it's only been like 5 years. When we did the No album, it really had this sort of man bites dog quality to it. People were just like, say what? Like you got what? Why? And now it's like cool kids rock. It's like sort of this weird genre.
Yeah, I think when we recorded No, it felt like a kooky concept album that was almost sort of a vanity project.
It seemed kind of out of it, actually.
And next we'll do a bowling album.
right.
That'll be the one.
And now, it seems like now it just seems like it's sort of the zeitgeist. It's like it's where things are at.
Now it's where all the crazy like Fox people are going. And there is a reason for that, which is that you can actually make money selling DVDs because parents are not inclined to pirate them, and they're much harder to pirate, and they want to own the physical thing, and they don't want to set a good example.
And they want to, and they also want to control what the kids watch. So kids' music DVDs are like sort of like a very in a world where music sales are in total free fall. That's actually something that's strangely still working. So
that's right.
At least for the time being.
What advice do you have for bands who want to have...
We have no advice for them. Sorry, no more competition.
Who want to create great music, but also have a lucrative career, because you guys have longevity, and you've actually found a way to make money.
Okay, this is the not a joke. The serious answer, which I would say we were kind of inclined to go in this way in the first place, but we actually had other people giving us helpful advice that reinforced this, which is that we were not trying to figure out how to make money when we started. The first thing we wanted to do was do something that we liked, that we thought was good. And I remember this Sue Drew talking about this. Our A&R person at Elektra early on was saying that she was constantly running into artists who would say, "What do we have to do just beginning from scratch? What kind of music do we have to do that is going to be popular?" And I think that the general point, which is sort of sounds a little trite, but it's just so blatantly true that it bears repeating, is that if you wind up doing something that you don't care that much about, that you're successful at, that's a disaster. As far as we were concerned, that you don't want to be successful at something that you don't think is interesting. So you really have to start by doing something interesting. The worst possible outcome is that you'll do something interesting that nobody else likes. But that's better than the opposite. So I think that's where we started. And in some ways, I think we were helpless to do anything else because we didn't really know how to second guess other people in the first place. We didn't know what anyone wanted. We just knew what we liked. So that's, as far as advice for other bands, I think that's the basic piece of advice. That you just start out, make sure you like what you're doing. The rest will follow. Or not, right here.
And the New Year's Eve show is at the TLA.
It's at the TLA. Right here at the TLA.
Yes.
I
right.
understand.
Ta-la!
Ta-la. I understand that you have a song for every venue that you ever played in.
Well,
Can you give us a taste of the TLA one?
We have a song for every venue that we played in the summer of 2004. One of which, fortunately, was the Theater of the Living Arts. We have one of the better songs on that collection, which you can buy. Is called How Do You Spell TLA, and we will be performing that.
I'll give you a taste of how it goes. It goes like this.
How do you spell TLA?
That's how it goes.
That's pretty much the song, right?
That's
there.
pretty much how it goes.
But there's dancers.
Yeah.
There will be dancers.
We had to